Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to another edition of Smaug's Vlog. Now, I've been kind of remiss in the last couple of weeks. Haven't had one on. Family, life gets in the way. But that being said, I'm glad you guys are tuning in today. And if you watch this later on the rebroadcast, I would appreciate a good, hit the like button, subscribe. Now, today we have a very special. This is something that is incredibly talented. We try to get people from all, walks of the genre. Well, this man Michael Wheaton is a phenomenal shipbuilder, and some of the work that he does is intricate. So I'd like to introduce you now to a good friend, a hell of a modeler, Mr. Michael Wheaton. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, pretty good, Gil. How you doing?
Not too bad. How's your day going so far?
Oh, pretty good. Clean the house and in here now.
Yeah, I was thinking about this weekend trying to clear up some of the mess I got around here. Because you know what happens. You start working on stuff, boxes go here, boxes go there, and before you know it, Tommy says, "Good morning, guys." You see the comments to the right there? Yep. So I want to get into some of the work you do is pretty intricate, and it really, we shooting out. I see some of your work, and it's like it's amazing, man. Some of the stuff you do. So I want to get into your evolution, what you do now. When did you now? Me personally, I didn't get into modeling as a kid, as a young adult, whatever. I came into it pretty late in life, maybe about 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I was a painter. I mean, I tried models when I was a kid, but I only did that to blow them up with my Evel Knievel, motorcycle. And I think the only model I had built up until maybe the mid 2000s was a Tidarium shuttle that my wife had bought me,
Mm-hmm.
and before then it was just a car here, a car there, and it wasn't to build a model. It was just so I could blow it up with a firecracker, So how did you get into models? What is your earliest recollection of how you got into models?
Well, I grew up in an orphanage in Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
and it was fairly good supported by the community, and we get all the comic books from the stores around there at the end of the month, and a lot of the toy stores and hobby stores would donate, airplanes and cars to us, models. This is back in the mid to upper 50s, and the bigger boys got the good airplanes and the cars.
Uh-huh.
They left the kind of boats. I think Pyro had a bunch of. I think my first models were Pyro,
Okay.
sailing ships and stuff. So I started doing that, and then I really got involved in it when I started reading the Horatio Hornblower books. We had a pretty good library in the orphanage. It was Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys, then Horatio Hornblower. And I started reading those books, and I started trying to find every model I could find of a boat, and do those. I did some airplanes here and there, but really throughout the years I stuck with boats.
Now, you have an interesting, life trajectory, and I won't get into that. But were you doing that the whole time? Were you building models all through, on and off throughout your life up until this point?
Not really. I mean, once I got to California, I kind of found girls and surfing.
Mm-hmm.
I was in my teens.
Right.
And so I did that. But I still did a couple of airplanes here and a couple of little small boats.
Mm-hmm.
The monogram stuff. And then when I joined the Marines, I took a couple of 3 or 4 or 5 years off of that. Everybody kept shooting at me, so I had to stop modeling. So,
yeah, that could put a damper on the modeling, right?
Yeah, plus they're hard to get over where I was at.
Okay.
So anyway, when I got back, probably the mid 70s, I started back into modeling, and I did ships.
So
At that time, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
At that time, Monogram had a bunch of ships out. They had the Constitution. They had all those. The Revell had the United States. They had all those little books, all those little ships coming out at the same time. So I started doing those. And then I didn't get into my wood technique until probably the mid 70s. I joined a Master Modelers Club for Revell. And they in one of the little diagrams I hear, they send you this little book here called "Get It Together," Volume 1 and Number 1. And in there was an article said the art of painting sailing ships. At that point, I was just kind of painting them brown as far as the spars go, and painting this, just doing simplified rigging. So once I read that, and it in there, it said you take some oil paints like burnt umber, sienna, raw umber, and you put it in a rag, and you twirl your mast and your spars through that. Well, it got a good color, but I didn't really like the color of it, and it took forever to dry. So I started reading about oil paints and their colors. So I said maybe I could just stain it. So I painted it white. Then I painted it cadmium yellow the first one I did. I think it was a spar I did the first time. Let that dry for a couple of weeks because oil paint dries slow. And then I went over it with some burnt umber and burnt sienna. And I go, whoa, that looks good. How did I do that? And then gradually over the period of years, I started doing that. And it turned out pretty good. I mean, I did a lot of I ruined a lot of models doing it because you had to be patient and wait for it to dry. So, but that's where I learned my first technique, and I've kind of improved on it over the years. A lot of times by accident, you do something, go, whoa, that looks pretty good. How did I do that? And you do it again, and oh, that looks pretty good. Then you learn the different techniques of shadows and stuff like that, which worked pretty well for me. And it wasn't until I got involved in competition where I joined the IPMS club in North Carolina. So I think my first IPMS show was in Atlanta in '84 at the Nationals there. So.
Yeah, I just had something weird happen. My computer just shut itself off while you were talking.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then one of my cameras went dead. So
whoops, sorry about that.
It happens. Let me switch this camera around. I don't know what's going on. I hope my computer isn't my Mac, because that's an expensive fix. You know what I mean?
There you go.
All right, so right now you compete in like the IPMS, right? You do that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, how did you get involved in that?
Well, I joined a model club in Salisbury, North Carolina. It's called the Eagle Squadron. They're out of Raleigh. This is back in '82, I believe. And I skipped a year because I was in Beirut, and then came back. And then I was back in '84 after Beirut. And some friends of mine said, we're going to the IPMS Nationals, which is in Atlanta. And I go, do you have anything ready to go? I go, yeah, I just did a Quebec, which is probably that one right over there. It's by Amai.
Okay. And
so I painted it. I had painted really well and did some detailed work on it. It was just for me, and I won a couple of little regional shows around North Carolina. And so we go to the Nationals, me and my wife, and I get to the front door to register my model, and they go, "Sorry, sir, we don't accept wooden boats." I go, "Pardon?" They said, "We don't accept wooden boats. You got to be 85% plastic." In those days, you had to have your model IPMS, of course, had to be 85% plastic. I said, "Well, this is plastic." He goes, "Oh, whoops, really?" And my wife says, "I think you just won." I don't know about that, but so I took first and second place at my first nationals. So that was pretty. I got lucky there, really lucky. But then I've kind of built on that technique as far as doing my painting and stuff. What gets me over a lot of it is my rigging. I love rigging, which most people don't like to do.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my computer here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it froze up on me. The whole thing. I got the little thing going. I mean, the whole thing just froze up on me. I don't know. It's been this morning when I came down to turn it on, it was just a black screen. So I had to reboot the whole thing, and now, yeah, it's weird, man. It's not letting me do anything. What, Nina's here? Oh, it's not. I'm sorry, my daughter. It's not letting me do anything here, so I don't know what the hell's going on with my computer. Anyway, let's see if it'll sort itself out. I hope so. Something's wrong with it. And it's not letting me get to your pictures real quick.
Okay.
So I don't know. And I'm looking at the stream on YouTube, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I hope my computer isn't taking a dump, man. This is a Mac, and it's a $4,000 Mac, you know?
I was going to say,
yeah. Yep. Anyway, it seems that it's dead on my end, and my mouse isn't working. I keep getting the little symbol that's turning. It's not letting me do anything.
Want to reboot and try again? Oh, you're frozen. Well, guess she's trying to reboot maybe. Why not wooden ships? It takes you 4 years to build one. I built one before. And there's a lot of work involved. And I'd rather just build 1 or 2 a year of plastic ships rather than build one every 5 years. Plus, there's a technique and art to building wooden ships, because you're doing a lot of that stuff using just plain old wood. You know, that comes strips that come with you. So it's beyond my skills pretty much. So, but hope Gil gets back here pretty soon. But let's see if I can find that. So, Tommy, can you still hear me?
Give me a second, Mike. I think there's some
that board is my sails. Since I'm doing the Black Pearl, which is really not the Black Pearl, I'm using it's a pirate ship. I did all my sails in black. That way, then I'll weather them, because it's gonna be a pirate ship. So I'm gonna do a skull and crossbones in like pale white over that. So that should work pretty. It should look pretty nice when I get it rigged. As far as that one goes. So you're back?
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I had. I'm sorry about this, guys. Everybody out there watching, I don't know if it restarted again. I'm really sorry.
As far as the question, Tommy, I'm gonna do a pirate flag, a couple of them on there.
All right, let's see. It looks like it was still running. So
I was talking to people, answering their questions.
Yeah, it looked like it was
the Mike Wheaton model show. No, just kidding.
Well, no, dude. I mean, it still looked like the guys are talking to you.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know what's going on with I had put that stupid Manny cam on my computer.
Okay.
And it messed everything up. So I need to figure out hopefully we can finish this without any other problems.
No problem.
I don't know what's going on with it, but I'm sorry. So, and I missed most of what you were saying, but that's okay. You were, So let's talk about your ships. Let's talk about your wood technique. How did you come across your wood technique? How did you do that?
Well, what I did was I kind of experimented with different colors and over the years. And what I did was I take a hull, I paint it white first. Every piece I do, I paint white, and that gives me a good base. And I use Tamiya white, which is a good lacquer. Lately, I've been using Stynylrez. I got on a Stynylrez train. That was really great. That's some good stuff there. So I use that. I paint it white first, and then what I do is I go with cadmium yellow oil paints. Okay, and lately I've been experimenting with Naples yellow hue.
Okay,
a lighter one where this is bright here, so you get different looks about it. So what I did that, paint it yellow, let it dry for about 2 weeks. Sometimes if you put a blow dryer on it, it'll dry in a couple days, because it oils.
Right.
And what I do is I take my oils and I squeeze them out like about 3 or 4 days before I use them, and let them kind of dry out a little bit.
Okay.
Paint it yellow, white first, then yellow. Then I go over it with burnt umber, the burnt umber color. And that gives me this color here. And that's where you put your shade, because since burnt umber is almost a dark brownish black, wipe it off. And then I go back in and put some shadows in, like you see there. And I wipe those off with a Q-tip or something. And I get this color.
Okay. And
then after that's dry, it takes about 2 days to dry, 3 days. I go over with burnt sienna. That gives me that, when they did ships in the old days, they would tar them over with like spar varnish.
Mm-hmm.
And what that would do is seal the wood. A lot of these ships you see, they're all painted nice and neat. Well, a lot of ships weren't painted because, one, it added weight to the ship, because in those days they took pigments of, say, a blue or green or whatever, and mixed it in mineral oil and boiled it. Then they put that on the ship. And only the really expensive guys, the rich sailors could do that. I mean, if a captain came on board, he wanted his ship painted a certain way, he would do that, but it cost him out of his own money.
Okay.
So I do that, and that gives you a really good color to base on. And what you do is you put in your shadows, you put in you just kind of weather it a little bit with streaks and stuff. Once that's done, I go through here. This is the final version, and I put in my colors, and I use a combination of oil paints, and also Model Expo has a good line of marine colors that are pretty good. And then I do that. I put in my. This is a technique I learned from a 12-year-old kid. How to put barnacles on a boat. I paint it the cream color. After it's dry, I do a little light color white glue, sprinkle kosher salt on top of it, knock it down a little bit, go over another coat of the cream color, the tallow, and then what I do is seal it up and do washes of browns and greens. Because if you see real barnacles, they have a lot of little hairy things that are green and blue and stuff. So I do that. Because this was this isn't a copper bottom. This is basically just a wooden ship, a wooden bottom with they would cover it with horsehair to keep the worms out. So I do that. And that's what your final look is. And from then you can go through and do streaks down where the water comes in and do that. So that's pretty much what I do. Then I just kind of weather it, do some washes on it to where it looks. It's like you doing your figures. You do your figure and then you go through and you kind of like age it, maybe, so to speak. So that came out pretty good. And for hulls, I do white and then put burnt umber on it, wipe it really thick, and wipe it off. On some hulls, I do the white paint, and then I take it and I put in a light coat of yellow hues, and then I go through and wipe that on, then let it dry, and put the burnt umber and the burnt sienna on a little bit, and wipe that dry. Now on that one ship I did with the Susquehanna, I went through afterwards. I did that, and I darkened certain planks with burnt umber. Just kind of brushed a little bit on there, and that came out amazing. Pure luck by accident. That came out really nice. And when you show up my Susquehanna later on, if you can do that, it'll show the deck looks really nice. So, and basically you just kind of do that, and you kind of learn different techniques. You can use darker colors, lighter colors. It's just it's like an art class almost. You just kind of do it, and you get the look you want, and then you take it, and once it's dry, you seal it up, and then you're good to go. It's not hard. It's just, and even I tell guys at contests, they go, "Well, I can't do that." Yeah, you can. I mean, I'm not smart. I'm a dumb Marine and a dumb cop. It's if I can figure it out, and I'm not. This isn't a technique that I can't tell you that. Basically, anybody can do that, and this is good just for. It's good for like rifle. If you're doing a rifle butt for like 135th, you can do that. And like I did this one. This is the Guillotine by Polar Lights. I used that technique on it too. It came out pretty good. Then you keep dry brushing, and to give it a little bit of character, you gouge the wood a little bit, gouge the plastic. So when you put that coat of burnt umber over it, the darkness of the burnt umber gets inside the cracks and crevices, and when you wipe it off, it's still there. Then when you go over it and dry brush it with the burnt sienna to give it the oiled wood look, it comes out pretty good. I mean, those you see right there, that's not bad at all. I mean, I got lucky there. So you can use it for anything you want with wood. Still there? Or is he gone again? I guess he's gone again. Am I still transmitting? Can you still hear me, Tommy and Josh? Okay, good. Everybody asks me what I use for sales. It's one of the things I get a lot of contests. And I used to use cloth sails, like old diapers, and that didn't work. That worked okay, but it's still thick. I used to use linen, and that was okay, but it still didn't look the right scale. And then I read an article in Model Shipbuilder from the 1930s or whatever, where a guy was using architectural paper they used to use in the old days to do drawings, and that was linen enclosed in a starch, and I was able to get some of that. Oh, you're back.
I don't know what's going on, Mike. It keeps my computer. There's got to be something wrong with it because it's. I could hear the motor running, and then it just fucking goes stupid.
Well, I've been keeping on talking, so. No.
I can see that it's still running. My YouTube, it's just shutting everything down. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to probably take it in to find out what's going on with it. Because the minute I put on the YouTube, I don't know. I can't share anything right now because every time I try to share something, it just messes everything up on me.
Okay.
I have no I can't look at the YouTube, and I can't pull up your pictures to show anything because all of a sudden everything just goes whoop, and it shuts itself off.
Can I send it a certain way, another way? Nope.
Well, I think what I'm going to do is once this is over with, I'm going to shut this down, and then I'm going to call my son because he works for Apple and figure out what's going on. He could probably tell me, and then I'll probably end up having to take the whole damn thing into the shop to find out what's wrong.
We can do another one too, about my he's gone again, about my picks. Anyway, back to my sales. So I read this article in one of the old magazines from the 30s where a guy was using architectural drafting paper for his sales. And he said you had to boil. This is what it is. It's like I had a friend of mine who's an architect. He said we haven't used that stuff in like 30 years. I said, do you have any? He goes, well, maybe. So he went down to his basement, dug through a bunch of stuff, and found me a roll, which probably lasts me the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. And this is pretty stiff. It's shiny. And what you do is you got to boil it in boiling water.
Is that what you use it for the sales?
Yeah. On normal shifts. So what you do is I get about 4 pots of water, put it in there, boil it for a few minutes, and all this starch comes off. I take it out, rinse it off, put it in another pot of boiling water. Do that about 5-6 times. Then at the end of that, you get this stuff. Really fine linen. And that's what I used on my pirate, on one of my Viking ships. The stuff I hear. It comes out really, really good. In fact, let's see here. I use it on this ship too. This is the Catlin ship, which I kind of dropped one day, so I got to repair it. But I used that stuff, and I dipped it in tea, and then I smashed it in. I kind of dry brushed it with bleach water to come out, and then see how it comes out pretty nice because it gives the look of real sail.
Yeah, it looks like a sail. Yeah.
Yeah. So that came out. That's what I used for that. It comes out pretty good. So, but when I did my, let's see, put that back. When I did my seminar at the Nationals in Phoenix, I believe it was, I gave away a bunch of this stuff to people, and it worked pretty well. And I think he's back. He's gone again?
No.
Oh, you're still there? Good.
I'm here. Any
more questions, man? As far as
I'm at a loss here, man, because this stupid thing. You know what? The cool thing about it was it kept recording. So you were able to, it's just me going in and out. And I don't know if it's going to do it again. Let's if it does it again, just keep going, man, until I come back, So now I'm going to try to show some of these pictures. Let's see if I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, because it even kicked me out of my Facebook.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get this without it. All right, now let's hope it doesn't screw up on me. Gotcha. Guys, I'm really sorry. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I got a pretty nice rig here, and this morning when they did an update, and this morning when I came down, I had a black screen when I was hitting the button. So I was like, what the hell's going on? So I rebooted it. I figured maybe the update screwed something up. And that's the only thing I'm thinking of is this new update that whatever they did, it's got me all jacked up here. So I can't, usually I have like 5 or 6 different windows open and it's not letting me do it. But anyway, let's go here. Let me see if this doesn't act up on me. So bear with me here. If I disappear again, you know why.
Yes, sir. There you go.
So let's see. Now here we got, what is this here? What are we looking at here?
This is the SS Susquehanna.
Okay.
It's by Oshima. I did that last year. Well, year before last. And you're looking at the bob stays on the bow sprint.
Okay.
What a bob stay does, it keeps it's attached to the bow sprint. It puts downward pressure on the bow sprint. At the same time, your forestay, which is the right here. Let me get this off of here. This right here, you have different stays that keep this pulled up, that pulls it down, keeps it all simple. And that's the Susquehanna.
Now that was all that rope and stuff. You did all that by hand, right?
Yes, I did.
All right. Now what are we looking at here?
Hey, that's the now that that funnel, okay, that came in two pieces. I mean, it was one piece. I cut the funnel, the other exhaust off, and I took some tubing, brass tubing, and because in real life, I have the books on the Susquehanna. What I did was I separated it, threw it away, and made my own extra, the little small funnel, the exhaust funnel, and that's the deck here. And what I did was I put, ships are kind of dirty, so when I get to areas where it's around pieces of equipment, I always do a little dry brushing.
Yeah, like right in here, right?
Yeah, right in there. And this is where some techniques where you see where some of the planks are lighter, darker.
Yeah, right, like right in here. Stuff like
metal.
that. Yeah.
That part right there is metal. And I did some dry brushing with my powders. And I used, and this is the back part of the ship, the stern, and those actually really, I mean, when I rig my ship, if I didn't glue it down, it would really work.
Okay.
I added pin rails to it and added really small. And that's all. Those little at the bottom here, where you see where the dead eyes come down and they go into the hull.
Yeah, right in here.
That is all linking. Those are backing blocks.
Okay.
I made those out of pewter.
Wow.
They're tiny, and drill a little hole in each one, and put a little tiny miniature nail in each one.
So these right here,
those are my shrouds and my rat lines.
Now the rat lines, you did that all by yourself, right?
Yes, I did.
That's all by hand. Okay.
That's all by hand.
Now here again, we could see the decking, with the different. Okay.
And those cannons are all rigged. They would actually work if you was put some tweezers in there and move them back and forth.
Oh, nice.
But I glued them down so it wouldn't.
That's the Susquehanna that we were just looking at.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is still the same one. Like all this, you did it by hand. You rigged it all up and stuff.
And these little holes here, those are seats of ease. That's the bathroom. I drilled those in, added some styrene, glued it in, then drilled some holes.
Oh, so that's where they took they dropped their load. Okay, gotcha.
And then I added those pin rails. So, this is my out of the box category for a couple years ago. It's a Thomas. Zevda did two of those, the Thomas and Hans Krog, and I think it's pronounced right.
Okay.
And it's a medieval ship, and I had to rig it according to with nothing else in the box but what's in the box.
I got you.
So,
and this is the same ship.
Yeah, and this is the second time I've used, since I had to use the sail that came with the ship because it's out of the box category. I did that. Now, a lot of these blocks and stuff and dead eyes, they were like plastic, but I asked of judges, can I cut them open and then re-drill them and add real line to it? They said, yeah, no problem, as long as you're using you don't add anything to it.
Gotcha.
And that sail, that little flag there, as a decal. No, I'm sorry, I painted that, but that was painted onto a white piece of lead foil, which I was able to use. And then I used it. It's actually I'm sorry, that's decal right there. Decal strips of red.
Okay.
I made that out of foil, and I weathered it really good.
Yeah. Now that sail. Did you Are those decals or?
Those are decals. And tell you what, you better use some Bondo on it if you have that model in your stash, because they almost fell apart.
Oh,
yeah. And that's that's the stern of the boat.
Okay.
And it went together fairly well. It's just a little tricky because some people, you know how models are. Some people don't want to fit together.
Uh-huh.
And I had to pin them in to get them to work. And I used styrene rods, so.
And this is the same. This is the same ship.
It's the same ship. These are dead eyes now, and those were put together. Those are made one piece. So I cut them off, and then just rigged it with my with the line and stuff.
Gotcha.
And then I used there you go. That's the same one. That's that's how you raise and lower the sail, the capstan, and the windlass is right there. And then basically it was a fun build. I have another one I'm going to do differently, but
now this is a beauty here.
Yeah, that's the tri deck. That's that's by Mai. It's a Greek warship, and it has 3 layers of oars.
Look at that.
I did the oars in my technique, but then again, I kind of roughed them up to where they would look. They would look kind of worn.
Yeah.
This is the first model I used where I used the plastic sails, and I cut out along the top of the yard arm, so you see some of the sails showing. The bolts in them.
That's beautiful. Now this is the one we were looking at earlier, the medieval.
Right. That's close with the flag and stuff.
That's what they would call the crow's nest.
Crow's nest, correct.
Now this is back to the trireme, right?
Right, and that was basically.
Sorry,
no problem.
My mom. I'll have to call her back later. Sorry about that.
No, it's no big deal. I weathered that a little bit, and I painted on the inside to show the supports inside. You can't really see that from here, but it came out pretty good. I mean, I think I took first place out of the box there at Nationals.
This is the same ship?
That's the same ship. I rigged it with the little parts there, and came out pretty good. I mean,
it looks great.
It wasn't bad. I mean,
looks great.
I surprise myself sometimes.
Yeah, look at that. That's just beautiful work, man. That's a lot of intricate work there. Like you got them wrapped. Like here, you got them wrapped.
Right. I serve them. I have a serving tool where right here. Well, don't worry about it. Anyway, I serve it on a serving tool where you put the line, you put super thin thread, and you serve it. A lot of your yard arm, a lot of your stays, like shroud stays, were all served.
Yeah, look at that.
Here you have the tack lines. Then you have so when you bring it forward or bring it back, that would make it tighter. Those are all back and forth. Most of those ships had 2 lines to it. There you go.
Yeah,
I did a little wood. I mean, a little metal technique there. Which
right there.
Yeah.
And here, that's
a Viking ship from Heller. Now I did 2 of those. This is the one from that I did out of the box. I painted the sails. I mean, I painted the shields, but I had to use out of the box. So, and now look, see these little openings here. In the middle of those goes a deck. Well, I'm missing a little oar. So anyway, in the middle of those lines here, you have a planking that goes in there. I didn't add that because it wasn't in the model. However, if you go to one of my other ones, Queen Lagatha, it'll show that.
Look at that. Beautiful piece of work. Now that's a Heller kit, right?
That's a Heller. Heller came out with 2 of them. One like that and another one. So I built 2 of those, the same one, and built another one that was a different type.
Beautiful.
They're pretty good. Yeah, I did. That's from
this is the trireme again.
The trireme, yep.
Look at all that work there, man. That's insane amount of work there.
Yeah, those are lifts and stuff. Oh, here we go. And that's the one we just looked at.
Yeah, look at all that work in there, man. Jeez.
It's It came out pretty good. It really did. I was surprised.
Yeah, it's damn good. This
And
is the thing.
I painted each sail individually and then weathered it. Put a little mix and stuff where they would, where you have, fighting and swords and stuff.
Right. Look at that. That is just amazing work. And I know it's a small thing in the grand scheme of everything we're looking at.
Right.
But I think just the attention to detail, the ropes.
Right.
That just shows you the attention to detail. You got the ropes in there, and they're coiled up real nice, put off to the side. It's just beautiful. Now, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, this is my. I was experimenting with my pirate ship, the Booty Quest.
Is that the one you're working on now?
Yes, sir. And that's the main mast with the crow's feet. And this will be tightened up. This goes to one of the preventer stays. You have a rope going. Once I get all the shrouds in here and here, to the dead eyes, I'll put two preventer stays, a stay and a preventer stay. There'll be two lines coming through here that goes down to the foremast. They keep all the masts square and together in one unit. So you'll have a stay. You'll have another stay from the mizzen mast to here. And there'll be two to here. Now that goes in. That will be tied to somewhere around the preventer stay, and that'll be tightened up really close. So that block there will be like over here. And that one of the reasons they did that was keep the sail from blowing back in to the mast.
Ah, I see. Okay. Now, what is this one?
That is the English Man of War by Revell. I hate that boat. I mean, Revell did a really good job. Did a good job of making sure nothing fit right.
Oh, but look at all that rigging. Jeez. Yeah,
but I did a fairly good job of the rigging part and the painting part, and it came out okay. It came out great. In fact, I'm giving that to a friend of mine probably.
Look at that.
To put in his office. That's a big boat. That came out.
That's this one here, the English Man of War.
English Man of War. That's from about 1588, I believe.
Wow, look at that. You even got barnacles on the bottom of there.
Yeah, I did that. Because I sailed my whole life when I was in the East Coast, West Coast, Hawaii. You have a ship out there more than 6 months in the water, you're going to get barnacles on it.
Wow, look at that. This is the same ship?
Same ship. I got those pin rails. I drilled holes in, put the pins in, and then a lot of the boats had like dead eyes that secured the boat. So when it loosened up, they could just go to a dead eye and tighten it up like you would on a shroud. So I did that, and since this is 1588, you didn't have a lot of the guns didn't have a lot of rigging on it. Basically, there was a wheel up front and flat on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
And I used. There you go.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. This is and you see over here. You see this has the anchor coming in, and over here you see there's two lines over here, right past the foremast, going towards the back. That's the preventer stay, and
this here.
Yeah, that's here. That's the preventer stay, and this is the one above it that goes down to the bowsprit.
This one right here
as a stay. So, and those are all using. I used closed hearts for those, as per what I could find in my research. These are all lift here. They lift the sails up and down.
That's amazing, man. That is just amazing. Same ship?
Yep, anchors here. Now, when you do an anchor, what I do with anchors is I go to Hobby Lobby. They have this coarse paint, has little bubbles and puts little paint particles on it, like stone. When you want to paint a porcelain or something, you put that. I spray my anchor with that
to give it a texture.
Give it a texture because they were all corroded here and there.
Right.
Then I knock it down with some light sandpaper, and then I paint it black.
Beautiful work. And
that works pretty well. And then I do the chains. Now you see here on the gun ports, That's all miniature chain. 56. I think it was 56 links to an inch.
These guys down here.
No, the ones on the gun ports.
Oh,
That's
right here.
the
These in here.
No, down below, right on the hull, right there.
Okay.
That's the those are gun ports.
That's okay. You're right. They open
in there.
Okay.
Yeah, it came out pretty good.
It's amazing work. Now, what is this?
That's a bow sprint, and the normally there'd be a sale going on here on the sprint sale, and I didn't add that because I didn't add sales on anything.
God,
this is your preventer stay.
Now, how long did this ship take you to build?
About 5-6 months, 7 months. I build 2 a year. Try to build 2 at the same time, because as one is drying because of the oils, or I get sick of it and going, okay, before I smash this thing into the wall,
right,
I will put it off to the side and work on something else.
And that's that's a piece of lead for the
that's a piece of lead foil with the decal. What I did was I copied the paper on it, came with a paper flag.
Okay.
I copied it with a copier, and then I made a decal, and I painted the flag white, the lead foil. And I put a decal that on there. It came out pretty good.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, not too bad.
This same ship? No, this is a
Chin Ho.
It's a junk, Chinese junk.
Chinese junk. It was a treasure ship, and in actuality, that was like 450 feet long.
Wow.
By 160 feet wide. And the reason they know that is they found a ship. Well, they found the rudder of one of the treasure ships, and that's how they figured out how long it was and how big.
Now these sails you did, these are all scratch built, right?
Those are all scratch built.
Wow.
Those yard arms or poles, whatever. Now these you see down the capstans down below on the decks. Down here? Those are all scratch built.
Wow.
And with epoxy putty on top. And the sails are all using my. There you go. That's the bow of it. It had like 10 sails on the darn thing.
Wow, look at that.
And I painted it. Now you see the little bamboo on the side for the fenders.
Yeah, right here. Yeah.
That was a sheet. It was this rod styrene carved into bamboo. Nice. And I painted it and did what I did to it. So
you see, right there. Look at that. Yeah. That's how big is that ship?
That's probably about 2.5 feet. Probably about 2.5, 3 feet long.
Wow. Look at all that work.
2.5 feet long, yes.
That's a lot of work, though, man.
Kept me out of trouble. I tell you, I model.
This is the same ship. This is the yard arms in there. Is that what they call these?
Those are all plastic rods. What comes with it, I just shucked,
Yeah, but the rope that's tying them, is that came with it? You just painted it?
No, I did all that. I had to do a jig. First of all, I did a jig. That's styrene, and then the little curve part,
Right here? Yeah.
Right there. That's a different piece of styrene. So I put that in a jig. I glued it together, jigged it, put it in a jig, and then you're looking at about 150 of them, probably 200 maybe. A jig. Then once it was done, I did ropes around it, and then I painted it and did what I had to do. But you had to do a jig to get the spaces right. I did it one at a time. I put one in the sail. Did like a skeleton of all the spars. And then I added the sails to it later.
Oh, I see.
And then this is the admiral's cabin. Inside there, I put the screens in there, 2 screens.
Yeah, I see them right here in the corner.
Now, those screens, you can't see it from here, but they have a picture of a mountain with little birds flying.
Oh, cool.
And that came out really well.
Now, does that have a top that goes on that? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to the next one.
There it is. Okay.
That's the top. And that top was basically flat, just basically a flat roof. So I took small styrene rods and carved each one into bamboo.
Yep.
and glued each one on there. Then I weathered it and gave it a color of the bamboo green and, being aged and stuff. And they each have a concave where you have a ridge line, right? You have a ridge. Then I kind of carve it to where it's like, when you look at it, it's like, oh, okay, it's like bamboo.
And
that was a nightmare.
I'm looking at it getting a headache.
And that would, if I didn't have jigs, I had like 3 jigs for that project. If I didn't have those jigs, I wouldn't have done that. It wouldn't have worked.
God damn, Michael, that's amazing work.
Yeah, that was really neat.
Have you ever shown this one?
I think it took first at Nationals.
Yeah. Look, here you got the bamboo where you can see it.
Fenders. I mean, it didn't come with the kit, but I figured they had to have fenders on it.
Yeah.
So, and then I had extra bamboos in there, and I had, different stuff.
Yeah, you can see the bamboo a little better here. Yeah.
And here, I painted it green, the type of green they would use in that time frame.
Mm-hmm.
And then I weathered it a little bit. The good thing about using the green and stuff was you can put it on there. It's acrylic. Take a nice little Q-tip, wipe it off a little bit, and show that wood tone underneath.
Now this detail here, was that all part of the kit, or did you add that?
That's part of the kit.
Okay.
But I weathered the little. Sorry, my cat's trying to get in here. I weathered the dragons.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I love it. Look at that.
At the bow, I did add some grappling lines there.
And here's some more of the sails.
Yes,
wow.
Sir.
Unbelievable.
That was pretty. That came out.
Yeah, but those damn. What do you call those, yard arms?
Well, I call them yard arms because they were support poles.
That's a lot of work, man. That's a lot of work.
It must be like 150 of them there I had to do. Wow. Different sizes, different techniques, because each sail was a little smaller, a little bigger, so I used a different diameter rod. And this is my Queen Lothka.
Look at that.
How do you pronounce that stupid thing?
Lagatha.
Yeah, there we go. So this is the same model as you saw before, the Heller kit. But this has flooring on it.
Look at that.
I had to add. Each one there's like 230 pieces of small, teeny weeny
sheets of styrene.
And each one is individual. I had to keep them together because they're all this diameter from the beams to the beams.
Yeah,
different.
Yeah, you can see it right here. Yeah,
I weathered them to where, and these are all sea chest. I got. I ordered those from someplace. Some guy had them, and I ordered them, and I modified them a little bit, and I rigged it pretty good.
That looks great.
Yeah.
And I mean, it literally looks like wood.
Hey, yeah, those shroud pins. I saw those in a book I have on. It was 1923. They published a book in Sweden of the rigging of a Viking ship. Those shroud pins are carved out of styrene rod, put into a vise. Put into a jig to give it a curve. And I hit it with a heat gun, and to get it to melt into that type of a curve. And then I was able to get it to where it stayed there once it cooled down.
Unbelievable.
And these lines are all served for a lot of lines chafe and stuff. These are served, and then the curve in the pin had a little lip on the bottom of it where that hooked onto, like you see on the right hand side here, where it hooked onto.
Right there.
Yeah, and then on the bottom too, a little lip there.
So, and that's the ship there.
That's a ship. And I painted her shields and her sail in her colors, green and black.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful, and that is also a Heller kit.
That's a Heller kit, yeah.
Now these are getting hard to find, these Heller kits, right?
Yes, they are. I mean, I bought 2 of them. Yeah, this was done. This nameplate was done by Bases by Bill. He's where I get my cases from.
Uh-huh.
They did fantastic work. Now the stand here, I try to use as much of the kit as possible. So I did the stand in my wood tones, and then I put copper and green.
Yeah, you got the patina in there. Yeah.
Yeah, so it would look like aged copper, or aged bronze, actually. That came out fairly decent.
Yeah. Yeah, here you can see the little lip there.
Yeah. And that's the stays that they had, And it's fun to do a lot of research.
Yeah, that flooring looks amazing, though, man.
Yeah, and I made each individually one different.
Yep.
That way,
your technique on wood, it looks like wood. It really does look like wood.
With that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's basically just of years of just, well, you're an artist, with your figures, and I add stuff. I put different washes on it and wipe it away, and then for some reason you get something that goes, whoa, don't touch it no more.
Yep. Now, what is this one?
This is the Mayflower.
Okay.
Now you see that rudder up there, that curved thing around on top on the boat. Yeah, see that little, it's right up here at the top where you have the underneath that one dead eye thing.
You're talking about right in here?
Right here on top. Bring your right there. I handmade that because in those days they didn't have a rudder in the back.
Okay.
They had a rudder on the side. Up here. Yeah, the top. So the rudder was on the side, and it let you. I did some research on that, and that came out pretty good.
Awesome. And that's this one right here.
The Mayflower, yeah.
The Mayflower. And again, there's the barnacles.
There's the barnacles because she was like in the 1400s, whatever.
This is the Lagatha again.
And then you see right here that little with a shield rail.
That piece right there.
Yeah, I added that because they didn't tie them inside. They put them in a slot there. And that way they could grab it if they needed it, and it just supported the shield.
Nice. I like the way you got that weathered, like this one right here.
Yeah, I would basically what you do is a little sandpaper, a little. That's the Mayflower again.
Okay, I like the little chain down there.
Letter chains.
I think this is you got the little green in there. That's pretty damn cool. And this is, I guess, the same ship.
Same ship. The upper shrouds.
Wow, look at all that work in there, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets. When I was on the street, you come back home, and all this stuff happened to you on the street. You come back, you sit down for I was on second shift, or third shift. Come back and I'd sit down and just kind of de-stress, and just rig or whatever, or build for about 4 or 5 hours, and then go to bed.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Beautiful work.
That was there you go.
Look at that.
And that's how I do my now. Every one of those is a clove hitch. I hate clove hitches.
Now, when you talking about on the rat line here?
Yeah, they're all clove hitches. Yeah. And
look at this. He even got these little pieces here to keep the.
Those are pearls. They use those in that time frame. Just round pieces of wood, hole drill through them, rounded, flat on one side. They put them together, and that way they would bring up. This is lateen sail on a mizzen. They would bring that up and down, and it would kind of rub up against the wood.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's the.
This is the same ship.
Yes, it is.
Look at the size of that anchor, man. I mean,
the anchor, and got that done, and that didn't come out too bad.
What's that, Nina? Okay, I'm sorry, Mike. I was talking.
Oh, yeah, I got my cat over here wanting to get in here.
Same ship.
Mm-hmm. And that's these are the lines coming off from the lateen sail, the supports, and I added a bunch of cleats to it, then a pin rail with the pins.
Look at that! Wow, that's a lot of work there.
Yeah, and a good way to get those ropes to hang loose, I I have a little I wrap around a round pole, like a rod, and then I pull it off, shape it with white glue watered down, put it on there, then hold it down. And then that way it hangs really perfectly. You see some of those guys who build ships, that you got the stupid, that's the 150 scale Revell pirate ship.
I have that one.
No, I'm sorry, the 150 Viking ship.
Yeah, I have that Revell ship.
Now, those little lines there,
Uh-huh.
they only give you like 3 of them. So I got into casting and cast my own.
See, looking at this now, I don't even want to build the one I got.
I'm sorry.
I could probably, I don't know if I'll get it the justice you did here with the wood, but all that rigging, nope, I ain't doing it.
It's pretty simple, you know.
Well, this one don't look like it's too bad compared to the other ones you got, you know. But yeah, my grandson bought me this kit a few years ago, and it's sitting in the room there. And
it's not a bad little kit. I'm building 2 of those. This one's wood, but for the face on the front of it.
Okay, what this is the
again.
Okay, and this is the one we just looked at.
This is one of the Heller kits.
The Viking ships.
The Viking ships, yeah. That was off the Osberg. This is these are all I did like 4. I got in the Viking phase. I did like 4 Viking ships, different types, and this is this is based on the Osberg. Those found, and those shields were all hand painted. Different designs. I did research. This was out of the box category at the Nationals. I think I took first place with that.
Nice, beautiful ship. Look at that. I love Viking ships. Love them. Now, what is this one?
That again is going back to the Susquehanna.
Okay.
That's showing the detail of the.
Yeah, right. All that in there.
All the dead eyes and stuff. You know, and here's the thing. I don't make all my dead eyes, and these are, and the ones that here in the middle are dead eyes going to stays, back stays and stuff.
These guys, I take it these little round things are what you call the dead eyes.
Dead eyes. And you know what? I don't make them this. I make a point not to make them even.
So are these styrene?
No, that is probably blue jacket pewter.
Okay.
Blackened. I use wood. I use pewter.
Okay. So these are pewter, and you make these.
Well, blue jacket. I order them from Blue Jacket.
Oh, okay, okay.
And I blacken them and stuff, and then rework them.
And
I make a point not to do the dead eyes even. I got a contest one time, and the guy says, "Well, we're deducting points off because all your dead eyes aren't even." And I go, "Why is that?" Because in a real boat, as ropes loosen up from age, you know, they add new ropes. Those dead eyes won't be the same. They're tightening down, loosening up, you know. So I make them a little bit uneven to give a little bit realism to them.
Now, what am I looking at here?
That's the Susquehanna again. And that is, go to the next one. I'll show you the paddles. Whoops. That's one of the Heller kits.
Okay,
here's a paddle. Now the Susquehanna, if anybody has that kit, if they have a model of that, they come with only these little paddles here that go in. They only come with half of what you need. There's 50-something paddles in there. Well, they give you 25.
Oh, because they figure you're not going to see them if they're hidden underneath the shroud up here.
Right, but I don't do that.
Yeah.
But you need both on both sides, because if she went in reverse, the power of that going in reverse would rip off the paddles, because you have to have the support of those little support beams coming down. So you have to have sandwiched in both of them. Okay. Now what I did was I did some research. Those were coppered. After she was made from wood, they coppered them. So it would last a while in the water. So what I did was I painted with real copper paint that I had from years ago that had copper particles in it,
Uh-huh.
Then I have this stuff called patina it.
Right.
They don't make anymore. I sprayed it on over a period of maybe 2 months. Every time I would go, okay, I need to spray it, and then gradually that copper paint and that patina, it would change into green.
So it's a natural patina. It's not a painted
patina. It is natural. It's not something that you fake. And again, that's here you can see up on my on the stack this extra funnel here. This
one right here, yeah,
made from 2 pieces of copper tubing, and I kind of widened that out. And then I soldered it together. Then I added the support attachments all the way down. It came out fairly decent.
That's some beautiful work there, dude. Some amazing work. So, Michael, here now, have you ever thought about? Now, I know you said you did a couple of classes and stuff on this, like at some of the shows and stuff. Are you still? Once this COVID nonsense, we can get this under control. Are you considering doing that again to show people how to do certain things?
I think so. I think I would do a rigging class because everybody thinks, because I go to nationals or I go to contests or locally around here and stuff, and they go, well, I can't do it because of rigging. I go, rigging's simple. Tell you what, the best book you can find for rigging, I got tons of books on rigging, but for a guy who's getting into it, rigging period ship models.
All right. Now let me get to some of these questions because you got a couple of questions here.
Okay.
Let's see. So Tommy says, so why not do wooden ships?
Because it takes about 3 to 4 years to 5 years to do a wooden ship. And wooden ships don't look real. When the last couple of years of nationals, I got my butt handed to me by wooden ships, but they look nice, pristine. You can see the wood, you see all the colors. I do realistic ships. I don't call myself an artist, but I like to have it look real. Whereas a wooden ship doesn't look real. They look like a nice wooden ship. And the techniques I use and they use are totally different. Those guys are really good at what they do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Steinbrom, he did the American a couple of years ago. Just fantastic boat, but it's all pristine, all clean. And I really don't want to spend 4 years on the ship. I think he said it took him 7 years to do that ship. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that 5 years on a ship. I've done wooden ships before for some friends of mine when I was in Hawaii. And it's just a technique, different techniques of working with wood. You got to bend it, you got to steam it, you got to do all kinds of stuff. I grew up doing plastic. I love plastic. And I try to use plastic, even, everything I do on a ship. If I add stuff to a ship, I go, can I use my plastic rod on that or plastic strips?
Right.
And if I can, I do it. So that's one reason. It takes forever to do a wooden ship. Yeah. They're great. If you do a really good wooden ship, yeah, it's fantastic.
Now, Tommy's saying, do you have a pirate flag too?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Again, guys, I'm sorry I'm not getting to these questions right away. I was having trouble with my computer. I don't know what was acting. Something in the background I had running was shutting my computer, down. It was just, so forgive me, man. We'll get that straightened out. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's Gil's MIA again. No, I was here. I could hear everything. I just couldn't do anything. But that's okay, man, because Michael took over there for a while. Let's see. They want to know. Yeah. Fred Henry saying if YouTube wants their cut. Yeah, I think that's what I had the YouTube page open. I had Facebook open, and I had this running. And it just, for some reason, and I think a lot of it had to do with me installing that stupid ass, excuse my language. Yeah, because the last time I did it did the same thing. It's not compatible with my computer.
Yeah.
Chopper Carson says, do you coat the finish sail with anything to help keep them clean?
Well, I put them in a case.
Yeah, see, there's the question right there.
Yeah. The thing is,
he's talking about the sail. Do you coat them at all with anything to keep them clean?
I dull coat them, and then I do my little finish. The thing is, oil paints when they dry naturally, they have a great patina.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to leave that alone if I can, because as I'm doing the holes, like say right here.
So you're not sealing that in.
No,
Okay.
because I think and now if I seal it in if it's like acrylic, I'll do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
If it's oil, I leave it alone because it dries. You know, you have oil paintings in the Louvre and stuff that's been there for 500 years.
Yeah. See, Tommy says the freaking amazing rigging. Yeah, it is. It really is.
The secret of that is, and you know this because you have bees.
Mm-hmm.
Beeswax. This is pure beeswax. A buddy of mine has like 4 hives, and I get this. He gives me all his extra wax because he found out that making candles a little too much work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he gives me all his. I processed it about 4 or 5 times, run it through cheesecloth. I gave away a bunch of this stuff at the Nationals in Phoenix for freebies, you know. And this is just ice cube tray. I pour it in there, and I every one of my lines, I run through this about 2 or 3 times. Then I take a heat gun, like a blow dryer, and seal it in, and it goes into the pores. That way, you see model ships at places where the lines are all like fuzzy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That cures that.
Now, Tommy's asking, have you ever done Captain Cook's Endeavor?
No, I haven't. However, nobody ever made a model of that, did they?
I have no idea.
I did a bounty years ago for a buddy of mine in Hawaii.
Yeah. And now Ed D's asking, do you have a YouTube channel?
No, I don't. I mean, this be true with you. For the last 29 years, I retired in 13 from the police department. I didn't have Facebook. I didn't want nobody to know who I was. Basically.
Right.
You know, and then once I got involved with you guys in Red Dragon Model Works and Styrene Syndicate, I had to get a Facebook, and because I watched you guys for years just on YouTube.
Right. So now Josh is asking, Rizam Designs, what cases do you use? You have your cases custom made, right?
Yeah. By hold on a minute. Dang, we'll get some water real fast.
Go ahead. Oh, when you said cases, you was like, I can't tell you. It's a secret. Mike says, where's the link?
No, get back. Cat, go outside and play. Sorry about that.
That's all right. It happens.
My cases are made by Bill by Basis. Basis by Bill. His case is fantastic. They're not cheap.
Right. Bob Buskin, I remember that guy. I don't know if you were there at that Butch O'Hare where that one guy says, he says, remember the old guy at Butch O'Hare that apologizing for only completing 4 ships in a year.
You know, I'll tell you what, all the old guys doing wooden ships are dying off. And a lot of the older guys who are doing sailing ships in plastic are kind of dying off, you know. That's why I try to get, you know, you have a seminar for sailing ships, place is packed. But you ask them, how many people do them? You know, only a handful raise their hands. Everybody likes airplanes. Everybody likes train. You know, everybody.
I wonder if it's because, you know, like with the rigging and all that stuff, they don't want to have to deal with all that with the rigging. See that for me, I mean, I've got a couple of ships. You know, never built them because the minute I look at the box, I'm like, man, I'm not doing that rigging.
Well, you know, you can do it very simple. Basically, it's the shroud. You can use the shroud to come with the kit. I've done one for a friend of mine. He just wanted a basic kit done, so I sanded a lot of the shroud lines and the rat lines for form. I kind of shade them off a little bit, look thinner. And the rigging is really simple. It's the shrouds hold up the mast. Then you had the back stays that keep the mast straight up and down, and then you had the fore stays that keep it. You know, keep everything together, and then you have running rigging.
Yeah. See, like Ed D saying here, and it's basically what I just said. Ships are intimidating.
They are, but
Depending on how much rigging you got on there.
well, you want to see something intimidating? This.
That's for that one ship you're working on right now.
This and this one right here. Those, and I have two more. Those are all the rigging lines and the running rigging lines and the back stays and the forestays and the blocks and the braces for one ship.
Now, Chopper Carson is asking, do you have any recommendations on resource to figure the rigging layout?
Yeah. The best book you can buy is this right here, Rigging of Period Ships. You see in here, it goes into, it takes you from the mizzen backstays, which is pretty simple. You know, the main backstays, the mizzen stays, the everything you need to know. Okay, and then plus I use this book here by R.C. Anderson. It shows you all the techniques and stuff of rigging. You can do this as simple as you want. And then my Bible is this right here, Lee's book, The Master and Rigging of English Ships of War.
Okay.
1625. Those books, and I have like probably 150 more, but a lot of history books, a lot of books on different types of ships and stuff.
Yeah,
but those books, you can get through with those books here, just basically and rig a ship. I mean, but the period one here is pretty good. I mean, it's simplified. It breaks the ship up into.
Can you hold that up to the camera a little bit so they can see the? Okay, yeah.
Okay, it breaks the ship down into parts by the mast, main mast, mizzen mast, foremast, and then the bowsprit. Like here, you have the mizzen stay sails. And you have, well, a lot of ships don't have those. Then the topsail bunt lines, and then you have the flying jibs, the boom, and this stuff. It's basically, this is its most simplified. If you follow this book, you can simply rig a ship fairly, not easy, but fairly without a lot of heartache, a lot of heartburn, a lot of worry. It's not easy, but it's not hard either. Just do it one step at a time.
Bob Busky says his Connie came with a 40-page assembly guide and a 40-page rigging guide.
That's the Connie was what is that the plastic one, Revell?
Probably. You got me, man. Bob, is that the Revell? Might be the Revell. I don't know.
Yeah, I built a Revell before for some friends of mine. It's a lot of lines, a lot of rigging. But it's a pretty nice ship, though.
Man, I gotta tell you, bro, that's some amazing work, man. We watch you in a hangout. You're sitting there. Yeah. You're just, I mean, we could be on for 4 or 5 hours, and you're just sitting there, rigging stuff up, and it's amazing. Like that one last night. Yeah, that's the one you were working. Here, let me put it on you. That's the one you were working on last night. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, these are upper dead eyes and stuff, and this is the crow's feet right there. Mm-hmm. But it's relaxing to me. I can sit there for 7 or 8 hours rigging a bowsprit.
Yeah, he says it's the 196 Revell.
You're right. And a lot of that rigging is kind of wrong, but not wrong. It's okay.
Okay. Do you see the comment Mike left? Shiver me timbers, but in a good chat with a sailing chap. Yo ho, pirate's life for me.
Yeah, Mike.
It's old Mike.
Well, you know what? I tell you what. You think I do good stuff? Joe does weird stuff in his models.
I'm going to have him on one day. I think I'm going to sit down and talk. I just want him to talk about his process and how he chops stuff up.
Yeah,
man. You're talking about This guy gets a hold of the airplane companies and tries to get them to send him the schematics if they're not classified for the damn plane.
Yeah.
I mean, he just tears them up and I've watched him build he'll do oh shit, what is he working before the Corsair? He's working on I can't.
Spitfire. No, it was not a Spitfire. Was it Spitfire?
I think it is a Spitfire he's working on.
Hey, whatever he did, he tore down
He tore it down about 3 or 4 times already, and they look beautiful. Like, what was wrong with it? I got mad. I didn't like the way that handle looked. So you tear the whole thing out, take the handle off, Rockhead. No, that's another guy that we got to have on so you can see what he does.
He does good work.
Yep.
But
Michael,
yep.
I'm gonna let you go.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I thank you for taking the time. Again, I'm sorry for the problems we had earlier, but you know what? It seemed to work out. I was the only one that was bumped out, but you were able to carry on, brother. You were able to carry on there.
No problem, man.
But thank you, man, and I appreciate you, sharing your journey with us, sharing your work with us, man. If anybody, guys, I'm telling you, the man does fantastic work. He competes in IPMS shows. You might catch him at one. He's more than willing to show you what he does. It's up to you to do it. But
and there's guys out there who do a lot better work than I do.
I tell you what, I've seen some guys do some wood techniques, and I consider myself a little good at it, but man, not like this guy. This cat right here can simulate wood like you wouldn't believe.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Michael, you have a good one, brother. Thank you for watching. And everybody out there, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you learned something. Come join us on the Steinring Syndicate, Red Dragon Model Works. We're in a hangout every Friday and every Saturday. You can talk to the man yourself. You come on in. So you guys have a good one. Again, thank you for everything. You guys have a great holiday. What am I thinking about here? I'm still thinking about this with computer.
Yeah.
I'm wondering why they did that. I don't know. It's a mystery. He hasn't done it yet, so I don't know. Michael, you have a good one, man. Have a great weekend, Michael. You're gonna be around later on tonight?
Yeah, I'm gonna join Gary's hangout here when he's times. So
all right, I'll catch you guys later on tonight. You guys stay good, stay healthy, man. Be good to each other. Leave the drama to the queens and build a goddamn model, guys. Ciao.
Have fun.